Still haven't changed it out. We'll get to it one of these days. Until then, welcome to Making It Up As We Go. It's episode 55. So thank you very much for joining us this evening. And awesome. Let's get everybody in here. First thing, as always, we'll get Mr. Paul Corliss in here. Hey, Paul.
Howdy. Doing good.
And we got other Paul, Mr. Hammerquist. How you doing, sir?
Doing well.
Good deal. And Mr. Sean Klondike. How you doing, sir?
Good evening. Wonderful.
Good deal. How's everybody? Everybody's having fun?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Show's over. We'll see you guys later. Oh, man, we got a busy one tonight. That's for sure. I was struggling trying to get everything all up and ready to go because there's a lot of videos that we are keeping track of this week. Well, let's get into it. Mr. Corliss, what have you been doing this week? Anything fun and exciting?
Yeah, I turned on my CNC this week just to play around with it.
Show's definitely over.
And I made a couple little boxes here.
Sweet.
Oh, there they are. There's that one. And then I made one out of walnut.
Nice, very good.
That's good.
Is there a reason why we're making boxes, or just for fun?
Just for fun.
Nice.
Just for fun. Use up some scrap wood and play around and make sure the CNC still works.
There you go.
Yeah. This one's out of line.
Nice. You gonna do anything else with them, or are you just gonna leave them like that?
I'll probably just leave them like that and put junk in. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I ought to buy my wife another ring, but I won't. But anyway, that's what I've been doing.
That's good. Very cool.
I did something.
What'd you say?
I said I did something.
Hey, there you go. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah.
Thanks for participating.
Then nice. See you later.
Show's over. There you go. Yeah, Wade's got it right there.
Yeah,
Wade says it's the thought that counts, Paul. Hey, you did good. Did good. So very cool. What about you, Sean? What have you been working on?
This behind me.
Ooh, that looks good back there.
That looks good.
I'm impressed. I'm so happy with it. The coolest thing is it took a week pretty much to do it. I used 11 by 11 multi-board tiles. And I'll be honest, when I first put it up, it was all blue, just these little yellow dots. You know, you can see those. It's like, I don't know. But the more I add the yellow, the better it looks.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it looks really good.
Yeah, I have the coolest thing is my alcohol and my hairspray. You know, I need it. It's just right here, and it's no longer on the counter to where I can knock it over or worry or stress. And then
getting away.
Yeah,
sweet. Yeah, it looks really good back there.
It's a well worth project, I think.
Yeah,
especially when you're unorganized like I am.
As we all are. It's in our DNA.
Yeah. It's a guy thing.
Yeah, sure is. What about you, Mr. Hammerquist? What have you been up to?
Oh, catching up. Was traveling a lot. Was down in San Antonio and Austin last week, and then El Paso. And been fun, but well, that didn't work. So we'll just go ahead and we'll show off.
So, if you wouldn't have said anything, nobody would have known anything.
It was working pre-show, but so fun little pencil box, NES controller, some of these wall planters. So,
oh yeah, okay.
Interesting.
So you just screw that to the wall. Goes on there. And
neat.
so
Oh, cool.
you can just put the potted plant, so you can have a water catcher, so you can dump out any extra water that goes in there.
Sweet.
That's cool.
And yeah, and then I apologize, everyone. Here we go.
Ooh, look at that.
Nice.
So this I did about 5 of these different ones, and the wife loved them so much she was like, we got to get shelves so we have someplace to put them. So
You made yourself more work.
so went and put up shelves and got a place to start putting up some of the prints. And man, Makerverse is awesome. Lots of fun stuff there.
Yeah, very cool.
And then, hey, fake what is it? Succulents.
Uh-huh.
So, and that was the fun one right there. That's my daughter's birdhouse, Lego birdhouse she made.
That is cool. Is that a set?
I'm sorry?
Is that a set, or did she just cobble that together?
That's a set. That's one. I think it's one of those 3-in-1s. I wasn't there when she got it. She woke up at 5 o'clock this morning and started building all these Lego sets she had gotten. So
That's cool.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So
I like that.
You can kind of see all the shelves we did. That was my morning. Besides, also making some new designs, actually getting back into design. So thank you, Paul. Use SketchUp to do a lot of the measuring and everything, and then threw it in Blender to do the fun blending part of it. So
Cool.
it's been fun.
Nice. Very good. All right. Well, I've been busy. I put out a video today. That was on a fun thing I was playing with my new forklift. So half the video is just talking about the forklift. I was like, well, that's why I put the little disclaimer at the beginning of it. I was like, if you don't want to know about forklift stuff, just skip ahead. So, but it was fun. But it was a good little video on just some of the stuff that you can do in the slicers now without even having to use a program, which was kind of fun. I made a simple little spacer, but I'm sure you could make some pretty cool stuff with just whatever's in there. So I thought that was pretty neat, and it helped. I'm psyched. My forklift now has a good seat to it, and yeah, there she is. And green. I didn't even mention it in the video, but it does match my little car. So it's almost
Have you given it a name yet?
No, it's Clark.
Oh, it's Clark.
Yeah, it's got to be Clark. Yeah, so I mean, it's got its name right on the side, so it's Clark.
Now, have you repainted that, or did you just clean it up?
No, I just cleaned it.
Wow.
And so it cleaned up really, really well, actually. But now I've got that little post where the steering wheel and all that is. The master cylinder is in there, and I got a new master cylinder for it because there's no brakes to the machine right now. So I can't take it down to my shop because the shop is downhill. So I'm in there like trying to take everything apart, trying to get the master cylinder out. It's a bit of a pain in the butt. But hopefully tomorrow I can finish getting it out of there. And there's the reservoir. Look out there. That thing is just caked. It's bad. But there was actually some fluid in the line. So when I unhooked them. So I'm thinking maybe it's not maybe it's not too bad. Maybe I think it was just a failure in the master cylinder itself. So hopefully it'd be nice if I could just put the new master cylinder in and then fill it up with fluid and Bob's your uncle. So, oh yeah, Kenneth says that the name could be Forky. There you go. Yeah,
I was thinking Kermit.
Yeah, Kermit. Yeah, but it's a good little it'll be a good little forklift for what I need it for. And but yeah, anyway, so that was fun. And also since it is July, and I started working on another project for Christmas light stuff, and sailing through the park. Clearly, I want to see a forklift race. There you go. You got it, Cody. I'll try. I'll try to make that thing go. Yeah. Jack in the shop says Flintstone brakes. Yeah. I don't know. When I unloaded it off of that trailer, it rolled for like 25 feet. I was like, uh-oh. And that wasn't even, so I guess it rolls pretty good. Oof. Yeah.
Talking about trailers, I can't wait to see what you're talking about this. I haven't seen the video yet.
Oh, yeah. I just talked about how I tacoed it. And I actually had to face the maker today. My father-in-law came over because if you look at the back of the trailer right there, there's something missing. Had no idea that it was missing. Evidently, the license plate just up and disappeared at some point. I don't know when, but he drove by the house one day and he was like, "Hey, I saw something on the trailer," and I was like, "Oh, he knows that I tacoed it. Oh no!" And he goes, "The license plate's not there," and because I was down at the beach when he called me and said that, and I was just like, "License plate? What are you talking about?" I have no idea what you're talking about. So evidently the license plate took off at some point. Who knows when? If it was when I had it or when I didn't. But yeah. So I faced the music on that today when he came and picked it up, and thankfully he's not too upset about it. So I was like, "Yeah, we just got to jack it up in the middle and get some weight on it, and it'll straighten it back out." So oh well. It works.
It happens. Things
happen.
Happen.
I every time I borrow something from that man, I might as well just go buy it myself because it gets screwed up somehow, and then I end up buying him a new one of whatever it is. I borrowed his pressure washer one time. Started using it, used it for 2 or 3 minutes. All of a sudden it shuts off. And I'm like, why the hell is this thing shutting off? Turns out there was no oil in it. And I didn't check to see if there's oil in it, because why would you check to see if there's oil in it? There should be oil in it. There was no oil in it. So I ended up having to buy him another pressure washer, because I'm not going to borrow something from somebody and wreck it and then not buy it for them. So, Anyway, every time I borrow something from that man, I should not do it. But anyway,
I know 3 people that aren't going to loan you anything.
It's only him. It's only him. Every time I borrow something from somebody else, everything's great. But every time I borrow something from my father-in-law, it's a disaster.
It's snake bitten.
Yeah. So it's just I can't borrow anything from him. So, but anyway, we're also working on some product design stuff for Christmas lighting stuff. Got one here. Actually, I want to talk to you guys about. It looks like it's a halo. So it's a tree halo. So what happens here? I'll show it to you guys because it's all good. So what happens? Pop that off there. So when we do trees, like pine trees and stuff like that, what you got to do is you take the string of lights and you got to make a loop at the end of it, and you're trying to get it up on top of the tree and like snag around the tree. But Christmas lights, they get all droopy, and instead of a circle, it's kind of like a oblique. I don't know. It's a really shitty loop. So that's what this comes into play. So what you do is I don't have one of them in here, but you put the end of it through this little slot, and then you wrap the lights around the outside and then flip it back through. And then there's this little guy here that clips on, and locks it all into place. And then you just use this with your hook to get on top of the tree. And then it gets seated in there nicely, and you can wrap the tree. So but this is PLA, and I can't make these things out of PLA if they're going to be sitting outside and all that if I'm selling them to people. I need to do them out of PETG. So, but I've never printed PETG before. And that's going to be interesting because I guess I got to buy a filament dryer and everything else to go along with it now. So, but that'll probably be happening this week. I've been looking around at that stuff, and because I'm going to probably do them in like a dark green.
Big ones.
Oh yeah. There's jokes about that. Yeah, he wanted another tractor, and my brother-in-law and I were going to come over here and do a garden last year. And I sent the message to the father-in-law and said, "Hey, can we borrow this?" And my brother-in-law just was like, "Screw it, let's just go get it." and so we went and got it, and he got on it and started the PTO. Well, my father-in-law had the mid PTO disengaged or somewhat taken apart. So it was just like the little floppy end hanging there and there. Well, when he turned the PTO on, it starts doing this. Smashed off the oil the oil filter for the back housing and all that stuff, and ruined it. I mean, it was like $1,000 part for the tractor and stuff. But they ended up. I was like, it wasn't me. I was in the vicinity, but it was not me. And but he ended up, fixing it and then got rid of the tractor because I don't think it was right. So, but yeah.
You just need to wear a body cam anytime you borrow any of this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a big joke now because they're like, I'll ask him about something and he'll go, "So which one are you going to end up buying me?" No, I was like, yeah, yep, that's about what's going to happen. So, but crazy. But yeah, so it's been a pretty crazy week. So good times. All right, well, we're like 20 couple minutes in here and haven't started really yet here. So let's get this thing going here. Got a lot of videos and stuff to talk about this week. First off, our buddy Cody's out there making good food, so make sure that you go support him. JennyBits.com. Get yourself some bits. It'd be awesome. Cody's good people. And support those that support us. So it's very, very awesome with people. Did you guys see he sent me a picture of the 3/8 inch bits, I think they were. Man, it was a good looking picture. It looked sexy, but I didn't have time to put it up in here today. But they look good. I guess the pre-order is closing down, and he's going to be starting to ship everything out like this weekend or Monday or something like that. So if you ordered one already, you should be getting it pretty soon.
Cool.
All right, let's see here. Cutting It Close. This dude has made a ton of money doing CNC stuff. Have you guys ever watched any of his stuff before? He like made all of his money. Well, he made over $1 million with sales doing those little caddies that you put on your desk for like your everyday carry caddy type of thing. So you put your watch on it and your phone and whatever else you happen to carry in your pockets. But he has some really good tips in this video, talking about just what it takes to make a good product. And I think the best one he said was his first one. It's like pick one thing and master it. So I think the only problem I think with that is that you got to find that thing, and sometimes that finding that thing takes a while, but you end up starting. But once you find your thing, make your thing.
Stick with your thing.
Yeah, master it and make it and make a lot of them, and then you make your money. So
Yeah, I think that's my problem. Too many squirrels.
yeah.
Squirrel.
It's really hard, like doing this type of stuff, like YouTube and all that, because you can't just do the same thing all the time, because nobody's going to want to watch you make the same thing 500 times. But they want to see you do some different stuff. So it definitely does get hard to do. But yeah, he's right. I mean, if you're in a production thing, find your thing to make and make it better than anybody else. So good stuff. All right. We'll move on here to Bear Mountain Builds. So this isn't like a typical CNC or laser or anything. He doesn't actually use any of that in his video. But I thought it was a really cool video on shop storage. So I wanted to have you guys ever heard of that, the VersaRack? So VersaRack is a commercial version of what this thing is. And they're expensive, very expensive, but it works really good. So it's like it's instead of having shelves against the wall, they're turned and they pull out from the wall. And it's a good space savings type of such situation. So yeah, so he shows you how he builds everything, and I guess you can buy the plans for it and stuff like that on his website. But it's a pretty good setup. Everything was just bought from Home Depot and put together, and Bob's your uncle. The second time this week I've said Bob's your uncle. I don't know why it's in my head, but it's there. Oh, so the plywood is reminding me of something right now. So I had a chance. My brother-in-law, same one that broke the tractor, sends me a message the other night. It's a screenshot from a Lowe's about an hour from us. And that screenshot was of the birch plywood, full sheet of plywood was marked as $19.99. And they had 23 sheets. I said, you need to put our name on all of them. Buy them all right now. I don't care how many you want. I will take everything else. At $20 a sheet, we're buying it all. And they canceled the order like an hour later. So it unfortunately, we just lost Sean again. He was having some problems earlier. But he'll poke back in here in a couple minutes when he restarts stuff. But yeah, so the plywood in this, I was like, that was like one idea I had right away. I was like, I could build one of these things. we could do some damage with some 20 sheets of plywood. So it's pretty awesome. But yeah, it's good video to watch. Check it out and maximize your storage.
I didn't get to watch this, so those are just gliding rails up top coming out. Yes.
Yeah, it's like the unistrut type stuff. Yeah. And it does a good job. I mean, I think there's ways that you could just, us being CNC people and all that, I think you could CNC some stuff like those rail systems or something like that, and probably cut the cost down even more. But it would be some thoughts and ideas.
I think wasn't it Bourbon Woodmoth? He did something like that a couple months back behind his door for all his spray cans or tape. I think it was him. He did something similar with those kind of drawers.
I don't remember, but yeah, it was pretty cool. All right, moving on here. Look at this one. Oh, we got mistake made, Mr. Hammerquist. Dude, I tell you what, that project turned out really good, though. You're going through your video and all that. You beat yourself up a little bit on it, but I think the overall project turned out really good.
Well, I think that was kind of the deal, was because that project was what, 4.5 months, between work and just, it was like making mistakes. And it was just like, I think that's where a lot of the beating myself up was, because it was just the amount of time it took.
Yeah.
To finally get it to a finish point. Because, I get to a certain point and I was like, I made so many mistakes. I was just like, walk away.
Yeah.
But stick it through. All right. I thought it through. Oh, wait.
And then you've left it alone for a little while, so you don't even remember that what the last mistake was that you made, and you're like, oh, jeez.
Yeah. Well, it was funny because the last one was, I'm sitting there on the ground about to get it on the fireplace, and I go put the PlayStation in, and it has a circular base to help it from tipping over, and it doesn't go in. And my wife just looks at me and she goes, well, at least it's another part for your video. I just looked at her. I was like, I didn't say a word. I just had screwed it. Was like, there we go.
This damn thing. You just want to set it on fire.
But it did open, my friend told me about some other stuff that I'm going to try out on. He does a lot of production work, and he built a lot of sets and does a lot of stuff for trade shows and stuff that's on camera. So he was looking at it, he's like, oh, well, I forget what he called it, but I'll let you guys know as soon as I start using it. But he told me how to get that glass-like finish on wood. So I'm going to try that out.
Sweet. Oh, Sean, you're echoing.
Oh,
I'll mute you for the moment. Moving on, then Paul, keep at it, buddy. You got this.
Hey, it gave me a good shirt to sign too.
Heck yeah, it did. There you go. All right. Well, Hamilton this week did something on foam, cutting foam. I thought it was a good video about it. I actually, when somebody's starting out with CNC, that's what I tell them to cut on first. Is I say, go get some foam and throw it in the bed and just cut shapes or do whatever, but do it out of foam. It's so forgiving. You're not gonna jack your brand new bits up or the machine up by diving too deep into a piece of foam, because it cuts like butter. So he's doing the Christmas in July thing right now. I think I can't remember when the draw is for the Secret Santa people on CNC with me. I know it's coming up really soon if it hasn't happened already. I haven't been on there in a few days, so I have to look and find out. But good times. Yeah. Anyway, if you're new to CNC, start with foam. It definitely is much more forgiving.
even if you're old with it.
Yeah.
I still play with it every now and then.
Yeah, it's good for doing any kind of the projects and stuff. I mean, Paul made that really cool sign for his grandkid the other month. Yep. and out of the foam, and worked well. So very cool. All right. Moving on then. We got John Wagner. So I ran across John's video the other day or today. Was it today or yesterday? I don't know. Very recently, in the last couple of days. But he did a really cool CNC sign that he has in his thumbnail there for, I think it was somebody that he used to work with or that was retiring or something like that. But he made a really cool flag medallion piece. And I thought it was really cool. I felt bad for him because he's cutting it out the main part of it, and he says in the video that he used an upcut bit for doing the cutout, and it messed up some of the wood at the on the like on the bottom part. Yeah, you can see it there under department. It kind of tore up some of the wood. And if you would have used a down cut, it would have worked, would have been perfect. But using the upcut, it just tore some of that out. So he ended up having to paint the whole thing instead of using the natural wood color for that outside edge like he wanted to. So, but if he would have intended to do it white like this, I would have suggested to him to paint the whole thing white first and then mask it, because then you cut out the other colors, the other colored areas, and you can just spray them, with paint instead of having to dab it and everything else. And it probably would have gone faster for him. But I think overall the project turned out really nice. But
I liked his tip on when you use like pine or softwoods, you end up with little fuzzies.
Yeah.
I'm taking a torch, a little blowtorch to it, and just fry the little fuzzies off.
Yeah, he just went after it with the torch. Yeah. So yeah, look at that. It turned out really well. You can't even see that there was an issue. So he did a good job. So he's got a Shapeoko 4, and it did great for him. I like how we always got to say, like, every CNC person goes, yeah, all the mistakes were not the machine's fault. It was my fault. The machine's just going to do what you tell it to do. So it was pretty good. But yeah, John, you did a great job, and it looks like the recipient was very happy with it. Look at the shine on it. I mean,
it's well done.
Yeah, it turned out really good.
Hey, a turtle.
And then he chases the turtle around. Good old box turtle.
I'd rather have turtles than possums running around my backyard.
We've had wild turkey a lot the last couple of days. Yeah.
Dinner.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're big suckers too. So good stuff. Look, and then he brings out his cats.
It's about the right size.
See, all right, talk about dogs for a second. I say dogs that size are pets. Big dogs like German Shepherd size and all that, those are companions.
Yes.
How do you guys feel? What are your thoughts? Is that do you agree with that, or do you think that they're all companions anyway?
I don't want to get in trouble.
Oh.
I've had both, and it seemed to me like my Shepherd and my Malamutes are more companions than I had a little Silky.
Yeah.
And he was cool. He was fun. Rode along in vehicles. Loved to ride in a big truck. Yada yada yada. But not a companion. As far as the loyalty, I'd say compared to a big dog.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Makes sense to me.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and get canceled.
That's all right.
If they're that size or smaller, they're nothing but glorified rats.
All
right. And that all started because my old roommate, his girlfriend had one. And that dog, I'm 6'4". So that small, it's just like I'm stepping on you.
Oh, yeah.
I can't. I don't see you. Sorry.
Yep.
So, and that's not just for dogs. That's cats. That's anything. Any animal that size or smaller with 4 legs as a rat.
Now, along with 3 males, we have 3 cats. 2 cats I very rarely see, but we have 1 cat that acts just like the males, hangs with them in the whole 9 yards. You call her, she'll come like a little puppy. I mean,
That's
she
awesome.
is cool. But again, like a cat, though, she has a mind of her own. It's like, okay, you can pet me. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right. Well, John, you did a great job. All right. Go make sure he doesn't have a ton of subscribers. So make sure you go and subscribe to his channel and help his channel grow.
Yes, 502. Let's bring it up a little.
Yeah. All right. So level 2 Jeff. So this is Jeff Gearing's second channel, I suppose. And he actually did a video on this, talking about this company Fractal. They did a case for a Raspberry Pi, and it was for some show or something like that. But they were never intending to produce it or anything, so they opted to just put the files out. So they've so he made one, the orange one there in the picture, as a Raspberry Pi case. It's a pretty cool looking little case. I dig it. I think I would like to make one.
Their normal cases, are sweet. They are, because they really do have that wood front, and some of them are even you can like flip which side's the front and up and down. They really do have a lot of cool designs for their actual big computer cases. So
yeah, you can tell that this one isn't optimized yet for for 3D printing or anything like that, because of how many overhangs and stuff like how much support material you need to use to build the things. But it's a pretty cool little case, and for the Raspberry Pis I've got running around here, I'm thinking I'm going to make one just to have one. So,
but at least they did have directions in suggestions, like, hey, use support, I think, if I'm right, they said, use tree support on this one, use, the different types of supports even.
Yeah. It was, for just giving out the designs and all that and doing a level of, directions like that was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But I think it's a pretty neat case. So I think I would like to build one. So cool deal. Moving on, then we got Lucas 3D Studio. This was a cool video on building landscapes or cityscapes and stuff like that. And I thought you could really, you can use this type of stuff in more than just 3D printing. You can use it in the laser stuff and all that. But I liked the map stuff that he was using in it, and it was all free, so that was pretty cool. But I dig the cityscapes. I think you could do some really cool product doing the cityscape one, like especially if you're in a city, having the or one of those like where you met type pieces, kind of with the heart on it or whatever. But you could having the actual 3D printed buildings and all that would be pretty sweet in there.
And then, using Blender again.
Yeah.
So, well, I mean, with add-ons and a bunch of other stuff, but
Sean fell off again.
I know he was really excited about this one.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was. So if he pops back up here, we'll chat about it. Let him talk about it a little bit more. Oh, there he goes. He's come back. He's back. Back. There he is.
Oh,
he's back. There he is.
There he is.
There we go. Can you hear us, Sean? Nope.
No.
There we go.
Sorry about that, guy. Pop it out.
When you while you were away, we were talking about some of the possibilities of this cityscape video.
Oh, yes, I love that.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. One of my thoughts coming a little late here is the usability of this, like especially in my hobby with the trains, because I do the little modules. How cool would it be to be able to bring this in, scale it to whatever module or your train set, or even if it's a little corner, and literally build a natural mountain scene or something from your area?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet.
because we're incorporating so much into this. Why not? And we have our printers now. It'd be cool to incorporate this into the model railroading scene. That's from my side.
That'd be sweet.
Well, I know.
Cool.
I remember a few months back, we talked. That other guy had a video. It's a paid service to do these stuff, and you could do the roads and everything. But this Blender add-on looks like it's giving you all those options as well now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's, if you're interested in that stuff, check it out. Because you have to do a few more steps. The way he did the roads with getting the nodes, and then what is it? I forget the actual solidifying modifier to get the roads to be thick enough. So there's a few extra steps, but it was cool because it you could select all the free, but and a lot of times selecting all the nodes for the road, it's like its own section instead of all having to find and get them all individually or Control Alt and doing all that fun stuff. So
I mean, even doing it for like your house, you could do a pretty, you could actually have your house as being the part of the cityscape or whatever.
Yeah.
So it would be pretty neat. Pretty neat to give it a whirl. So, good deal. All right. Well, we'll move on then. We've got Loyal Moses here. Loyal, he does a good channel. He also is into the retro stuff. So he has a old NES, and he made downloaded a file from somebody that had a cartridge holder. It was like a 10 piece cartridge holder. And I guess Bamboo's brought out a new PETG filament that is supposed to print as fast as regular PLA does. And so he was printing it out with that. And he's, I guess, now on a quest to get all of the games that the Super Nintendo had. And it's like 800 and something games or something like that total. So each one of those little things held like 10 games. So he'd have like 80 of these things that take forever. But it would be pretty cool to see if he can do it. No, pretty neat. I dig it. All right. Make It Lab. So we were talking about these basketballs a couple months ago. Evidently, this has not left this guy's head. He's trying to develop one that actually goes, and has been doing a lot of testing and stuff like that. So and it looks like he's got one that works really well. He was using, one of them was what filaments was he using? He was using some sort of like high speed PLA or something like that, or one that had carbon fiber in it. There was two different filaments that he was using. One of them I didn't recognize the letters that he was saying, but it's probably an expensive filament. And then one that wasn't quite so, but it worked out pretty well. I mean, he was bouncing them like a regular basketball, and because I guess the NBA has a regulation that says that a properly inflated ball, when dropped from 6 feet, it has to bounce back up. The top of the ball has to bounce at least 49 inches or something like that. And so all of his ones that he was trying were reaching that. So they were bouncing appropriately. They're pretty cool, but it sounded like he's giving out the files, like he's putting it out there for
he's putting it out there for free, all personal use, no commercial. And the filament he was using was PEBA.
Okay.
PEBA. And just looking, Matter Hackers has a kilogram for $52 and $60 on Amazon, and that is, I don't know how much That's 1 kilogram as well. But Alibaba apparently is AliExpress $30, but I don't know if that's half a roll. I love that. It doesn't tell you how much it is.
Yeah.
Just $30. Buy me.
Yep. That's it's probably a quarter roll.
Yeah. Well, it looks like it from the pictures now that it's funny when the picture that shows up, it looks like a full spool, but then you click on the link and then it shows it from this way and it's like missing that much. Like, I see what you did.
Yeah. But yeah, pretty cool. I was looking at the geometry of what he was showing on the screen, and it's not just just a bunch of hexagons. There's he's got like holes modeled into the hexagon walls and stuff like that to get the bounce. So pretty neat. I dig it. I think it'd be fun to check that out more.
Yeah, because he was also, I guess, did we miss one where he was talking about he was annealing them?
Yeah, evidently he was annealing them, and it was a bit of a show to get that all done. So very cool though. All right, well, moving on here then. There's a new Kickstarter out on the ProForge 250. I haven't looked at the Kickstarter itself, but I did run across this video, and it was intriguing because these guys have done several Kickstarters, and I guess they've all been good. We've actually talked about them before with one of their previous ones, and now they're doing a tool changer, which is their ProForge 250. So it's a 3-headed tool changer, which is comparable to what the Prusa one is. The Prusa one with like 5 heads or whatever, it's like $4,000 or something like that. I mean, it's expensive. And then you plus shipping, blah, 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 whatever. But this one was like 2, I want to say, I think is what I saw on there. That it was pretty, for what you're getting, it's not badly priced. For the tool changing and all that stuff. It's a pretty cool printer. So something to check out. Maybe next week I'll pull it up and we'll start keeping an eye on that one as they are going through. Paul, I saw you popped that up on your screen for a second. It's live right now, right?
Yes. So they got $74,319 with 55 backers.
Man, all right. So go to the backing part. Tell us how much they are. I think they had like a super. Well, when I looked at it, it was they had a super early bird one or something.
So the super early bird is 799 pounds, about $1,033.
Yeah, for a 3-headed tool changer.
Yeah,
that's ridiculous. That's awesome. And you could buy 3 of these for what you could get 1 Prusa for. But I forget what size the bed is on it. Do you see what size the bed was?
And 250 millimeter cubed build volume.
Okay.
And
so basically the same as the regular, bamboo style.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. That's the only downside to it. Then, compared to the Prusa XL, is that the Prusa XL has a much bigger bed volume. I kind of wish they would have done a 300 millimeter. If they would have done 300, that would have been pretty awesome. But it's a neat setup. So
I'm surprised it isn't further up in the page. The actual build volume.
Yeah.
Not build volume, but the dims. Oh, there we go. 250 by 250. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's a nice looking machine. So
if I was smart with math, I'd be.
You'd equal something.
Ooh.
All right. So this we'll move on then. This next video here, Morley Kurt, he made this chair, and there was some controversy evidently with this video. So I hadn't watched this video when it first came out because this one's been out for like a little over a week, or I guess 2 weeks maybe. And so he wanted to print out one of these Magi spun chairs. Looks like a top. I guess it's a fun chair that you sit in and it wobbles around. But in the video, they use Slant 3D for printing out the pieces of it originally. And I guess in the video, it's kind of represented that things didn't go so well between the two of them. Like not bad, but there was miscommunications. Because some of the parts weren't lining up properly and stuff like that, and so Slant's been getting last week was getting they put this video out on like Sunday, and it was like people are going after him, because they have like a 3,000 print farm that's what they do, but he gave like their view on what happened with everything, trying to be like, look, it wasn't how it was kind of represented in the video. But there were some changes that happened and people weren't communicating very well, stuff like that. So, but it's a pretty neat video watching this chair get put together. Interesting. But I don't, anybody that's slamming Slant 3D for their portion of it, I think it's kind of silly, but whatever. I like Slant 3D, so I think they do good stuff. They put out good videos. They actually did a really good video. Was it yesterday or today? Today, I think it was, on like designing phone chargers. And I thought that was pretty cool. So, but anyway, moving on. Up there goes Sean again. Moving on. I feel bad for him. He's going to give up. We got Nathan Builds Robots. He put out a new video this week on doing his new printer that he's been building. He's chasing using 1 kilogram of filament an hour is his goal, and so he's been making trash cans with this quad polar design that he came up with, and pretty cool machine. It's huge. It's a big boy, but in pure Nathan Builds Robots ways, it's pretty stout and is interesting. It's going to be really cool. Like they were showing people, you can stand on top of these trash cans and without a problem. Like they're stout.
I remember he said the big one took originally on the big printer. How long did it take to print? I know you got it down to 4 or 5 hours to print one.
Yeah,
but it used to take 30 something hours or so.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like on a single extruder machine, it would have taken 30 something hours. He can do it in 5
on this.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. He also was it just me, or did you can tell he's been working on that one for a while?
Oh yeah.
Yes, and I'm not saying, because if you just look at him, if you took out everything else, just the hair, and he was just like, he had that look of it's done, or like he was like, all right, I can move on to something else.
Yeah, I think the big thing that what he wants to do now is be able to control all 4 heads separately, because they all just kind of mirror each other. So you're kind of limited on what you can build right now or model. Because all 4 heads have to do the same thing. But I think there's, I don't know. It's interesting about the different things that you could do with it, but it is kind of also limited at the same time because of that. But
yeah,
it's a cool machine. Very cool machine. He hold on a second. excuse me. He was at one of the shows recently, and who was he talking to? He was talking to somebody in the interview thing, and he gave him his card, and he goes, "Oh, here's what I've been working on," and you could see the dude's eyes like, "Oh, ooh," like he was excited to talk about the printer that Nathan's been working on. So it's definitely a labor of love, I'm sure. There's Sean back there. We'll get you in there. There he is. All right, moving on. We've got we're already over an hour. Uncle Jesse was 3D printing and stamping shirts. So cool way to do it. I thought that was pretty neat. The thing I liked the best about this video is that he was like, I don't have time to do t-shirt print. We're going to use spray paint. So he spray painted the things and then used that to print the t-shirt. And gave it kind of a vintagey look to it because it didn't, cover everything perfectly. But I thought that was pretty neat. Very cool. All right, let's see here. Moving on then, we got Van Tiki. So I ran across this guy. This guy's pretty neat. He's a ceramics guy. Is I guess what he does mostly. But this one showed up because I like tiki stuff, and it's also CNC. So I guess there's some show that there's a Tiki Oasis lamp show, and so he was sending this. He made this lamp to send out there to it, and I think it turned out really cool. I think if I were him, I think I would have used koa wood, which is a Hawaiian tree, which would have actually given it kind of a look like it does. Oh, I'm going to cough again here. Hold on a second. Thankfully, that wasn't in anybody's ear. But yeah, he also does. I ended up in a rabbit hole of watching a bunch of his videos because the design that he used here for this lamp is it's kind of rendered off of a Christmas ornament that he did a couple years ago. So I guess they sell Christmas ornaments every year, and like it's a flat pack Christmas ornament. He uses a 6x6 square of 3mm wood or whatever, and then they laser it and send it out to whoever. And so one of them looks like this guy, and the way he puts it all together turned out was a very good way of doing it. So I thought that was a pretty neat way of assembling it, and yeah, but it's pretty sweet. But it gives us some ideas for stuff that we can do down the line. So,
and using the shaper.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he did do it with the shaper. That's right. It wasn't just a CNC; it was the shaper origin that he uses. But who do we know? Somebody that we know has one of those. Is it Jerry? I think Jerry might have one. Or somebody we know has one. I don't really see the allure to the shaper origin personally, but I think I'd rather just use a regular CNC. But,
well, I think in coming, how much space do you have? How much do you use it? Like you said, he's normally a ceramics guy, and if you only pull it out 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I should move a shaper.
Or have smaller projects. Here, how about that?
Yeah, there you go.
I do think it's cool on how it reads whatever tape you put down.
Yeah. Very cool project though. He does a good job on the he's got a good personality. He's an artist and he's an artist. I guess is the way to put it. So, all right, well, let's move on here. So we got The next layer did a video on an open letter to the 3D printing community. I don't think this one really just applies to the 3D printing community personally. I think it encompasses all of it, really. I mean, I think it's kind of, I don't like that he puts in there, I'm pretty sure this video is going to bomb, because then everybody's like, oh, they're going to watch it because of that. That's kind of clickbaity, I think, but whatever. But he's talking about all the free software that we use, and that we as people and the community itself and the manufacturers should really be giving back more towards some of the free software that we get, like Orca Slicer or Clipper, or all these things that are done by people, Voron, people that have regular jobs, but they do stuff for the love of the game, of open source, projects or whatever. And they're not really they don't get any very much payment from it to make it a lifestyle for them to do better producing it. What are your thoughts on it, Paul?
Well,
we can't ask Sean because he's gone again. Lights out.
Looking between CNC router, laser, and 3D printing.
Yeah.
3D printing has the most free, open source, easy to find and get just into it for free on the software side.
Oh, yeah.
Because you can get Blender, and then, like he said, Orca Slicer, and then you need your 3D printer, right? When I first got into CNC routing, oh my gosh, what was that software called? Carbide Create, right? Yeah. They were doing it for free, and I had no clue what was going on. I was like, oh, cool. It's open. A lot of talk about open source and free and building the community, and I didn't read down because now, they still have a free version if you use their machine now. So, but then you look at like Pixel CNC, where they charge for their CAM software. How hard is it for that to get out there, right?
Oh, yeah.
But he can't put it out there for free, but he's charging. But that means, even though it's good, or Etzel CAM, again, these are $20 to $50, right?
Mm-hmm.
And people complain and moan about it. But yet they'll go and spend $20 a month on a subscription.
Yeah.
Where these other people who are, I'm like, I don't know, you would make less money, but you would probably gain followers if you put it for free.
Yeah. Maybe the way to do it is kind of both. Hey, you're gonna do a subscription for it for a year, and after that year, it's yours. I don't know, kind of like a payment plan type thing. Maybe people would. Because I know, like for me personally, like Vectric, I don't want to drop $600-800 more to do, because I don't use it. I'm not using it now, but whatever. But like if it was $20 a month for a year, and then you've got whatever version that is, I'd be down for that.
Well, when does it hit critical mass? So if you start off with, open source and free, you get a lot of people who are like, open source are really behind the community and everything, and it grows and you get more people using it. But at some point, those people have to get paid.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's the issue, because if they start charging, all of a sudden you're against open source. You may, uproar. Just look at what happened with Carbide Create when they did start. Oh, well, you want to use that feature? Now you got to pay. People were.
Well, Easel's the same way. I mean, they have a free portion, and then if you want to use one of the pro features, you have to, have their subscription stuff for it. But
well, with the Carbide story, Carbide Create, it was just, there was always the pro version, but there was a lot of features in the free. All of a sudden, now they were just kind of completely cut off unless you use Shipoko machine, because then it turned into, you can still turn it into a G code and use it. There's just a lot of steps. They made it real hard. But at first they were just like, nope, no more.
Huh.
And my stance was like, well, I got it for free. I got to use it for a long time, but a lot of people were pissed off about it.
Yeah.
But you have to get people using your software.
Yeah, you do.
And some people are going to be, I'm not going to pay $20 or $50 one time. That it's just that mentality. But if they see free, then they expect it for free for the rest of their life.
Yeah. Well, with the 3D printing community, with the, we got Clipper and Orca Slicer and stuff like that, and a lot of these machines are now shipping with, and I guess Marlin even too. I don't know. Was Marlin a non-profit-y thing too? I don't know.
Marlin's been around for quite a while.
Yeah, Marlin's been around forever, but I'll just talk about Clipper just because I know a little bit about Clipper as background wise. But like they're a group of people that developed this software, and now these big companies are putting their machines out with it. But like they should be, we don't have to develop this. We need to give some money to Clipper.
See, and I agree. I
we're
agree
selling
with
our
what he
machine
says
with
about
it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Helps,
I mean,
support.
I definitely get that. I think it's really, I mean, if you don't crush the consumer with it, the manufacturers really should be giving money to these people to develop this stuff that they're using. Because all these open source or all the reskins of whatever that is, like the Creality Create thing that up until this last one, it was garbage. It was like, just use what's out there because it's so much better than what your people are reskinning this stuff with. You should be paying money to Clipper or Marlin or whoever's doing the slicers or whatever. You should give them some money, like Solvol just recently did. They were given $2 a printer for the SV08s to the Voron project because it's basically a Voron, a mass-produced Voron. So,
but I mean, it's like Wikipedia. There's another good example. How many donation drives do they do? I mean, I get emails 3 or 4 times a year.
Yeah.
So maybe, I know it's hard sometimes for these programmers or people who aren't in the limelight, maybe, to be out there and put themselves out there going, hey, help me put food on the table, or help me, a donation or something. But I think he does make a point that ask for it, you know, put it front and center. I've given more to Wikipedia because I've seen, I get asked about it, and I'm like, hey, I use Wikipedia a lot, Yeah, I've donated $5 here and there to Wikipedia.
Yeah.
But I haven't to Blender.
Now, I don't remember. I don't know if you remember back in the day, it was MakerBot. See, all the Cura and everything was all open source. MakerBot took part of that, and then they closed it all up.
Yeah.
And then there was a big, kind of.
Well, and a lot of these companies now, Bamboo and Creality and all that, they don't make the stuff open source for their for the software on their machines right away or at all, which is kind of going against the open source type stuff. But
Was it Niami Wu? Where
Yeah.
she had a big part in Creality started doing that, where they kind of started keeping it close to their chest.
Yeah.
And with her help, they turned around and said, "Okay, it's open source."
Yeah.
And I
Well-
think that's why I really like my K1 Max.
Well, bamboo slicer, that's built off of Orca, right?
And so is
well, no, it's
Slicer.
well, technically it's built off of Slicer,
Slicer, okay.
which is what Prusa Slicer was built off of, and then Bamboo Studio kind of took Prusa Slicer and built off of that, and Orca Slicer built off of all of them, I guess. But now they're all taking all the stuff from everybody now. But yeah, pretty cool.
All right, then who do you pay in that case? Because if someone built off somebody else who built off somebody else, then when who
Leave it open source. Don't close it up.
Yeah, but I guess for that next iteration and getting those new feet, if you're going to pay developers to kind of push the software to help push everything forward, I don't know. Do they pay? Who do they pay? To keep for their success? I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
I got lost on my own train of thought.
It gets sticky. Yeah. It definitely gets sticky. So, all right. Well, we got one more here. Let's get to that because we've been at this for a while, and I don't know how many more times Sean's going to come back.
I fixed it, dude. I had malware. I apologize, guys, for the inconvenience of this.
You're
But
fine,
apparently, I had 32 instances of some malware.
Oh, nice.
In my
Very good.
It'll do it to you.
Robert Cowan. I like the description. Want to hear me rant about something for 15 minutes? Here you go. So this doesn't really fall in line with the last one that we were talking about, but it kind of is about the manufacturers. And like I guess he bought his FL Sun 1, which is a pretty expensive printer, and evidently it's still kind of half baked, and that seems to be a trend with all these manufacturers recently. In the last couple of years, as they put something out and it's not ready. We saw this with the Orange Storm Giga, with going to the content creators, and it wasn't anywhere close to being ready to go. The Micronic stuff, that thing wasn't anywhere close to being ready to go. But FL Sun is now, I guess, has put out this big S1, and evidently there's still a lot to be desired with it, making it the printer that it's going to be in 6 months. I wish they would really stop doing it. I think these companies are doing more harm to themselves than good. Like take another month or two to get it right. Like if it's not right when you're sending these things out to people, like, or that people are buying them, there he goes again.
Oh, he had froze.
It wasn't malware.
Nope. That was the electric company. But like, come on, people! Like, don't send out these products that are not anywhere close to being ready to go. At least believe that they're ready.
It's happening. This isn't the only industry it happens. I mean, the gaming industry.
Yeah. They're sending out patches on day one to fix all kinds of crap that they've realized wasn't ready before they, produce stuff.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all right. So when No Man's Sky, which by the way, love the game. I've logged a lot of hours in it. When it came out, everyone was pissed because it wasn't the game they promised.
Yeah.
And what was that? 8 years ago? 8 years ago. something like that, right? They just uploaded or just released some more DLC. And it's awesome. It's the game they said it was going to be. But that's great, but they've only charged once. Where some of these other companies, they put out a game and they're like, "Oh, we'll fix some of these, but then we're gonna put out this DLC and you have to buy that to get these features and
to fix this other stuff that we should have done right."
Yeah. I'm trying to remember the one everyone else played. I never played it. Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
when it came out, there was a lot of issues with Cyberpunk, but that's software. You can fix it. You ship out hardware and you have a hardware problem. You can't always fix it with software.
Right.
So.
But I wonder if that's more, well, I don't know. If your hardware is good, then you can fix the rest. Maybe that's the mindset. But I don't like that.
Yeah, here, let's send this rocket into space,
Yeah.
Well, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? Let's see what's the matter with those thrusters.
How long they been up there?
Yeah, right.
Take your time. Stop rushing. This isn't a YouTube short.
Yeah, I mean it's just make it right.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to, I'd rather them eliminate like features that they could, turn on or something like that, than to have it come out half baked to begin with. Which is probably the smarter way to do it. But then they're going to go, oh well, people are going to say, oh, I wish I had this, I wish I had that, instead of, not having it ready to go.
Oh, but then you run into the Tesla argument.
Yeah.
Every car is built with seat warmers, but you got to pay that $5 a month to have them on.
Yeah. That drives me nuts. Cars. Yeah. Everybody's got to have subscriptions now.
Yeah.
Crazy
Next thing you know, they're going to have subscriptions for hangers so you can hang up your clothes.
Yeah.
That's the excuse I'm telling my wife why my clothes have not been hung up yet.
Yeah. I have paid the subscription
to hang up my clothes.
Crazy. It's what's Al saying here? Al says Arc Ascend is doing that. Seems like a cool mods are per person charge. In the video, it's an $800 video card. Wow.
And that's cheap.
Jeez.
In the grand scheme of things.
Jeez. Man, that's wild. Not for me, thank you. I play Minion Rush on my phone. That's about it. Little minions yelling about bananas. That's all I care about. That's all I got time for. But anyway,
what is it here? You can.
Yep.
Oh, of course, it doesn't want to work.
Well, we've been running after this thing for almost an hour and a half. Wow, look at that. That's nice.
That's sweet.
Nice for gaming.
Yeah. Very sweet. Well, Mr. Corliss, you got anything else for us tonight?
Nope.
No. Oh, really?
Nope. Got nothing. Other than, I got a thing in the mail the other day from my buddy John. And now I have to make some projects because he set me up with some clock movements.
Sweet.
Yeah. And I ought to make that into a clock. No, he sent me some clock movements and some hands, and now all I got to do is come up with the ideas on what kind of clock to make.
Sweet. There you go.
I appreciate it. Yeah.
Oh, and you got a 3D printer ring too, Paul.
Yeah.
There's a lot of clock STLs out there.
Yeah, there are. Yeah.
Oh man, I just had a cool idea. Somebody should make a chain ring so that it kind of just continually forms with your finger instead of being a hard circle. That'd be kind of cool. Somebody should do that. It's not going to be me. I'm not talented enough to model that, but somebody should. So, what about you, Sean? We got to get to you before you fall off again.
Well, you can tell what I'm going to be doing for the next 2 days, working on this thing. It happens, I guess.
Yeah.
Is that your new computer?
Yeah.
Oh.
I opened something I shouldn't have. I think I'm going to do what Harry says and try that CrowdStrike or crowd.
No, that's a joke.
That's a joke.
You haven't heard about CloudStrike?
No,
yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, all the planes and the airports and all that were shut down. Yesterday or something like that because they updated something that was broken.
Well, I would have figured that out the moment I would have went searching for it.
Yeah.
Dude, you know what? I wonder.
There you go. All right. Well, Mr. DeHammerquist, anything else for you, sir?
Yeah.
He does more stuff than the rest of us put together. You know what?
Oh, but this isn't me. This is a friendly person sent this over, and we have a cold front this week.
Nice.
It's going to be in the high 80s. So going to try to get this going. Thank you,
nice.
Ryan.
Yeah, you're welcome. No problem. He got himself his Mag Air 1.
Mag Air 1. So try to get in the garage tomorrow and get that installed.
Sweet. Very cool. Well, I'm going to probably just be working on getting my forklift moving, or actually stopping.
It moves.
It does move.
Yeah. Somebody said earlier, seems like all you'd have to do is put the forks down.
Yeah, dig the forks.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It'll catch on something then. Oof, that'd be bad. Good deal though. All right, well,
Robert.
Everybody, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We definitely appreciate it, and it was a bit of a long one tonight, so good times. We'll be back next week, and we'll do it again. So fun times. So let me get over here to get this, and we'll say peace out, sauerkraut.